Could one woman's unwavering visions truly challenge empires and reshape the very soul of the church? Prepare to journey back to the heart of the 14th century, into the extraordinary life of Saint Bridget of Sweden, a figure whose story weaves together profound spiritual encounter with unyielding political will. This isn't just the tale of a saint. It's a noblewoman, a mother, and a mystic who dared to confront popes and kings, whose divine revelations demanded nothing less than the purification of Christianity itself. We're about to unpack how this remarkable woman moved from an ordinary domestic life to becoming one of Europe's most influential spiritual voices, leaving behind a legacy that resonates even today. Born Birgitta Berger's daughter in 1303, Bridget stepped onto the world stage from a powerful, aristocratic Swedish family. Her lineage was steeped in both royal and religious ties, giving her a unique vantage point from the very beginning. Her early life, by all accounts, followed the expected path for a noblewoman of her time. At just 13, she married Ulf Gudmarsson, a devout young man who would become her steadfast companion for 28 years. Together, they built a bustling household, raising 8 children, 4 sons and 4 daughters. Among them was Catherine, who would later become Saint Catherine of Sweden, carrying on her mother's spiritual torch. Imagine her days filled with the clamor of children, the management of estates, and the social duties befitting her rank. For years, her life appeared to be a tapestry of domestic duties and noble obligations, seemingly destined for a quiet, respected existence within the confines of her country. But beneath this conventional surface, a profound spiritual awakening was brewing, one that would utterly transform her world and, eventually, leave an indelible mark on the course of European history. The pivot in Bridget's life arrived with a somber grace in 1344. After nearly 3 decades of marriage, her beloved husband Ulf passed away. This loss was not just an ending, but a powerful catalyst. Following Ulf's death, Bridget underwent a deep and transformative spiritual shift. She renounced her previous worldly life, dedicating herself entirely to religious devotion. It was during this period of intense prayer and penance that the mystical floodgates opened. Bridget began experiencing vivid, compelling visions and receiving direct divine revelations. These were not fleeting thoughts or vague impressions. They were concrete, detailed, and often accompanied by profound spiritual insights and even commands. She meticulously documented these experiences, driven by an inner conviction that they were meant for the world. Her visions often brought her face to face with the suffering of Christ, particularly the raw, agonizing details of his passion, which she described with heartbreaking clarity. But her revelations weren't solely focused on divine mystery. They frequently turned a critical eye to the contemporary world, addressing what she perceived as the moral decay gripping the church and society at large. Through these powerful spiritual encounters, Bridget began to understand that she was being called to a monumental divine mission, to be a voice for God, tasked with nothing less than reforming the church and guiding humanity back to the authentic teachings of Christ. This was a challenge she would embrace with an unshakable conviction, despite the formidable power she would soon confront. Driven by these divine mandates, Bridget embarked on a journey that would take her far from her Swedish homeland to the very heart of the Christian world, Rome. She arrived in the Eternal City at a time of profound spiritual and political turmoil. The papacy, the very core of Catholic authority, had been exiled to Avignon in France for decades, a period known as the Avignon Papacy. This absence left Rome dilapidated, its churches crumbling, and its spiritual vitality severely diminished. Bridget saw this as a stark symbol of the wider corruption plaguing the church. Her primary mission, directly inspired by her revelations, was to persuade the Pope to return to Rome, believing his presence was essential for the spiritual renewal of the city and the Church Universal. But her advocacy didn't stop there. She fearlessly penned letters, brimming with divine pronouncements, to popes, cardinals, and European rulers, unflinchingly criticizing their moral failings, their luxurious lifestyles, and their neglect of spiritual duties. She spoke with a boldness that few, if any, dared to emulate, always advocating for deep systemic church reform. Her intention was never to undermine authority, but to call those in power back to their spiritual responsibilities, believing the salvation of souls depended on it. It was a testament to her courage and conviction that she, a widowed noblewoman, would stand before the most powerful men in Europe, delivering God's judgment and demanding righteousness. While in Rome, Bridget's vision for spiritual renewal took concrete form with the establishment of the Order of the Most Holy Savior, now famously known as the Bridgetines. This was a revolutionary monastic order for its time, designed to include both men and women living in distinct but interconnected communities, centered on prayer, penance, and service. It was a bold structural innovation, reflecting her understanding of God's call for comprehensive spiritual renewal. Beyond founding a new religious order, Bridget's most enduring contribution lies in her extensive writings, especially her monumental work, Revelations. These weren't mere personal reflections. They were meticulously transcribed accounts of her mystical experiences, offering profound theological insights, practical guidance for individuals, and scathing critiques of contemporary societal and ecclesiastical issues. Within its pages, she tackled everything from the rampant political corruption she witnessed firsthand to the absolute necessity of fervent prayer, and, of course, the profound mystery of Christ's suffering. Revelations quickly became a rich source of spiritual nourishment and a powerful tool for reform, influencing countless souls across Europe. Though she tirelessly campaigned for the papacy's return to Rome, even after years of relentless effort, Bridget never lived to see her ultimate goal fulfilled. The popes remained in Avignon during her lifetime, a poignant reminder of the slow, often frustrating pace of change. In 1373, Bridget died in Rome, her mission unwavering to the very end. Though she passed without witnessing the Pope's return, her relentless advocacy undoubtedly laid significant groundwork for it, which eventually happened a few years later. Her profound sanctity and powerful influence were quickly recognized. Just 18 years after her death, in 1391, she was canonized as a saint. Her spiritual legacy continued to ripple through the centuries, culminating in 1999 when Pope John Paul II declared her a co-patron saint of Europe, recognizing her pivotal role in shaping the continent's spiritual identity. Saint Bridget's life and legacy continue to inspire, reminding us that an unwavering faith and profound courage can indeed confront adversity, even when that adversity comes from the highest echelons of power. Her story is a timeless testament to the enduring human quest for spiritual truth and the tireless pursuit of reform, urging us all to listen for the divine whispers in our own lives and to act on them with conviction. If you found Bridget's incredible journey inspiring, make sure to check out our next video on another fascinating saint.